Long before Samson became the strongest man in Israel, before the lion, before the battles, before the betrayal that would change his life forever, his story began with a miracle. Bible Elite Studio presents Samson. At that time, the people of Israel had once again turned away from God. Because of their disobedience, the Lord allowed the Philistines to rule over them. For 40 long years, Israel lived under fear, humiliation, and oppression. Yet while the nation waited for someone to save them, God was already preparing his answer. In the quiet town of Zorah, among the people of the tribe of Dan, lived a man named Manoah and his wife. No one in the village knew that this ordinary family would soon become part of one of Israel's greatest stories. For many years, they carried a sorrow few people truly understood. They had no child. Season after season, their prayers seemed to go unanswered, but heaven had never forgotten them. Then, on what seemed like an ordinary day, everything changed. The angel of the Lord appeared before her,
but you will conceive
not with
and give
words
birth
of
to a
judgment,
son.
but with a promise.
Be careful. Do not drink wine or any fermented drink. Do not eat anything unclean. No razor shall ever touch your son's head. For he will be a Nazirite, set apart for God.
Without wasting a moment, she hurried home. Her heart raced faster than her feet. She told Manoah everything she had seen, and every word the heavenly messenger had spoken. Manoah believed his wife, but he wanted to honor God's calling. He bowed before the Lord and prayed. The promise was sacred. And soon, the woman gave birth to a baby boy. She named him Samson. As Samson grew older, God blessed him with extraordinary strength. Before long, people began realizing there was something very different about him. One day, while traveling alone through the wilderness, a young lion suddenly leaped out from the bushes. The beast roared fiercely as it attacked, but Samson did something impossible. Filled with supernatural strength, he grabbed the lion with his bare hands and tore it apart. Another time, Samson's enemies surrounded him. They tied him tightly with ropes, believing they had finally captured him. But the Spirit of God came upon Samson. Then Samson picked up the jawbone of a donkey and fought against 1,000 Philistine soldiers. One man against 1,000, and Samson defeated them all. No matter what they tried, Samson always becomes victorious. Finally, the Philistine rulers gathered together.
We must discover the secret of his strength, or we will never defeat him.
One day, Samson met a beautiful woman named Delilah. She was charming and intelligent. Samson fell deeply in love with her. The Philistine rulers thought it was an opportunity, so they came to Delilah quietly and offered her more silver than she'd ever seen. Delilah agreed.
What makes you so
Soon
strong?
afterward, she began
How
questioning
could someone
Samson.
possibly overpower you?
Someone ties me with 7 fresh bowstrings. I will become as weak as any other man.
Samson, the Philistines are here!
Instantly, Samson woke up. With one powerful movement, he snapped the bindings
You
apart.
lied to me. You don't really trust me.
Again and again, Delilah kept asking him. And each time, Samson gave her another false answer. But Delilah refused to stop. Day after day, she pressured him. Eventually, Samson grew tired. His judgment became clouded.
If my
And
head
finally,
is shaved,
He
my strength will
revealed
leave me.
the truth. This time, Delilah knew he was telling the truth. Quickly, she sent for the Philistine rulers. That night, Samson fell asleep. As he slept, a man quietly entered the room. Slowly, silently, he began cutting Samson's hair. Samson's strength disappeared. Then Delilah shouted once more.
The Philistines are here!
Samson jumped to his feet. He prepared to fight as he always had before. But something was wrong. The power was gone. For the very first time in his life, they chained him, mocked him,
God now?
and in an act of terrible cruelty, they blinded him. The mighty warrior who once terrified armies was now a helpless prisoner. The Philistines threw Samson into prison. Day after day, he was forced to grind grain like a slave. The people who once feared him now laughed at him. Alone in darkness, Samson realized an important truth. His strength had never truly come from himself. It came from
Remember
God.
me.
And for the
Please,
first time in many years,
give me strength
Samson
one more
humbled
time.
himself and prayed. One day, the Philistines held a massive celebration. Inside, their great thousands gathered to celebrate Samson's
Bring
defeat.
Samson out!
The people laughed and shouted with joy. The guards led Samson into the temple, blind, weak, and humiliated. They placed him between two enormous pillars that held up the building. But quietly,
Please, strengthen
Samson
me one
prayed
last
one
time.
final prayer. Then Samson placed his hands against the pillars. He pushed with all his might. Suddenly, a crack echoed through the temple. The pillars began to shake. The ground trembled violently. People screamed in panic. And within moments, the entire temple collapsed. In one final act of strength, Samson defeated many Philistines. But he also lost his own life that day. His father's whole family went down to go and get him. They brought him back and buried him between Zorah and Eshal in the tomb of Manoah. The story of Samson and Delilah is one of the most powerful stories ever told. It reminds us that even the strongest people can have weaknesses. Samson was powerful enough to defeat armies, but he could not overcome his own poor choices. He trusted the wrong person, and step by step, those choices led to his downfall. But the story also teaches us something beautiful. No matter how far someone falls, they can still return to God. Samson fulfilled the purpose he was born for. His story is a warning about pride, temptation, and betrayal. But it is also a message of mercy, redemption, and second chances. True strength does not come from muscles or power. True strength comes from faith, wisdom, and trusting God. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and remember, sometimes the greatest battles are not fought against enemies around us, but against the weaknesses within us.